forward. Alrighty, guys, we are at the end of obviously the challenge. It's as I kind of talked last week, it's always crazy how fast the 21 days fly. Do you guys agree that 21 days, you feel like it went faster than what you thought? You can just nod, thumbs up. Yes. Yeah. Uh 20 yes, it always goes 10 times faster than what you think. And yeah, I feel like 3 weeks. And the best part about it, obviously, there's lots of good things that can happen within within 3 weeks. For sure. So I know a lot of you I kind of threw out there today that I'm going to be giving away something here at the end. So thank you guys for all joining. You guys will all get put in. I'll kind of explain that here at the end here. But great. I'm glad you guys are all here and hope that the challenge has gone well. And of course, I'm going to ask you questions here. So let's get rolling. I want you, let's try to keep it a little bit short just because there's a handful of people on here, but I want you to name one thing that you felt like was a win from the challenge. That could be weight loss. It could just be, a new habit that you've started to implement. It could be just, even non-scale victories. Maybe it's just, hey, I've learned a lot in this last 21 days, more so than I kind of thought I did before. It could be very simple things. So we'll dive right on in. Deb, you're the first one on my camera. And I'm going to mute you for a hot second. Oh, hold on. You're on mute still. Maybe. We'll come back, Deb. If you can you figure out how to unmute oh, there you go. You're on. You're off.
Okay, I guess the thing that I learned was that I can still keep up with most everything, even though my husband's been in the hospital twice over the last
Oh my goodness.
couple of weeks. So,
Well, good.
yeah.
Good.
So, but I didn't have a chance to do any really exercise or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's okay. That's all right. Well, good. I'm glad you were able to do that. I think that's a big step. I'll kind of dive into that a little bit later, but good. Marcy, how about you?
Sorry, I had a baby that was crying and
You're good.
I would say I think really just focusing on the protein
Hmm.
and like realizing how full that makes me when I actually stick to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'd say that was a win.
that's awesome. Good for you. Good job, Marcy. Missy, what about you?
I hit the wrong button. I don't know what I did.
We
Sorry, I'm
can
like,
see
"Hey,
you
fun."
now.
Um, well, for me, I would say that I actually logged food. I hate it.
But you did
Every
it.
fiber of my being. And I tried really hard to hit what you told me I was supposed to hit.
Good.
Didn't do it all the time, but so that's yeah, that's where I would say my win would be. So
You did it even you hated it. I love it.
there you go.
Check. Kara, how about you?
Okay, sorry, I had to unmute. Um, I would say, well, I kind of said the same thing last week, but like just really actually putting thought into like my choices. And sometimes I don't, but it's more like, is it worth it kind of situation. And then I would say too, like when whoever just mentioned the protein thing, which I I have been, I don't know, for the last year or so, really trying to get my protein in. But I have noticed the last like week or two, like the days that I don't have protein right away in the morning, I am like really craving junk all day.
Yeah.
Like I'm hungry all day. So yeah, just knowing that, I guess, just learning things about myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. These are good guys. I love it. Kendra, what about you?
I think the protein for sure is something that I do. And plus, I've kind of gotten sedentary and I was able to get moving. I think that was my biggest one this time. And I was trying not to like focus on everything, like we've talked about before. And I was just going to do the water, the moving, and the protein. And if but there's a lot of other stuff. Like I said, Doug is in the hospital and a lot of other stuff going on. And so then just focusing on those three things, I feel like was really beneficial. And I'm still working on the mindset of not being afraid of the food. And because I think I've gotten to the point watching my weight so much is that I just then don't want to eat anything. And then I end up eating bad at some point. So I think that the food or the protein, the water, and the moving.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, and as you notice, life keeps going, right? It doesn't
Right.
end. It always hands us obstacles that are out of our control and things that we can't do. And so, it's always about the ebb and flow of trying to still piece in and take care of yourself as we go along and whatnot. So good. I love
Exactly.
that, Kendra.
Thanks.
Sarah, how about you?
I would also agree with the protein. I myself was trying to focus on fiber and protein, but I do feel like, again, I felt full. Some days didn't even hit my calories because I just felt like I couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Good job.
Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. I had some ups and downs for sure, but just the routine of everything, I think really helped me.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'll dive into the protein here too at the end with other people talking about like how sometimes it's too full, right? And so there's some practice of how to kind of navigate some of those things when you do up the protein intake versus like force feeding. I don't want people to have to like shove food in their mouth either because that's not enjoyable in both directions. So good, I love it. Tara.
My biggest takeaway was just redeveloping the habit of tracking because I kind of got a little burnt out of it previously. And so getting that habit back in and then like recognizing that, okay, this really does work for me. It really does make me feel better to fuel my body properly and like actually think about what I'm doing.
Awesome. Good job, Tara. Welcome back to tracking. As everybody just loves it, right?
Thanks.
uh, Liz, how about you?
This is like the really busy time of year for me. And so I'm a teacher and have three kids and a lot of activities. So just being more intentional and planning, like even in my head, if I don't track it like the night before what I'm going to eat has been really helpful. And it doesn't take that much time and it's a big impact. So just like remembering to do that for myself because then it makes the rest of the day so much better if I'm actually not hangry the whole day because I planned ahead.
Good job. I know planning's number one, if you guys have noticed. And that's where food tracking plays a really helpful tool. Um, and with, I guess my 2 cents with that is ebb and flow with food tracking too. Like take days off, take weeks off, take time off. If it really starts to feel cumbersome, I think that's a really big thing to notice yourself. If you're like dreading it and you're like pissed and this is sucks and I hate it, then you pull back from it, right? But as always, I think I said at the beginning, if you recall, is food tracking is definitely not a forever tool. There's going to be times that you take lots of time off from tracking, months to a year to whatever. Like you don't have to track forever, but just like as all you guys are starting to learn is the food tracking just starts to bring some awareness, helps with planning, helps you kind of stick with the goals that you guys are working towards. And that's the beginning purpose of it as you kind of keep shifting. So, Gemma, last one.
I think for me too, it's tracking and consistently tracking, even when I was traveling or eating out.
Good for you. I know. Trust me, eating out and tracking is the worst. It's not.
Yes, it was hard.
I'll be honest, I always backtrack when I eat out. Like when I eat out, I don't like pull out my phone and like track things in. I wait till the next day or if I'm at home or whatever. I just don't want to track while I'm actually at the restaurant. To me, it just seems cumbersome. So good. I love these. I think these are all phenomenal wins here about things. Now, you guys have got, I know there's got some of you guys that are in here have had scale victories. Nobody brought up one scale victory. Does anyone want to say that they saw the scale shift and it felt good? You are allowed. hiding.
I saw it shift.
Great. Did it
Four
feel good?
pounds.
4 pounds.
4 pounds.
There we go.
Not very much.
It's not supposed to be a lot. Remember, it's only 21 days, but fantastic. Yeah. See, we got one. I know there's more of you on here that had it. So I've looked at all of your stuff.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, all right.
It's not a scale so much for me. I mean, maybe a couple pounds, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's more muscle definition for me. Like I'm actually noticing more.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Boom. I
I mean,
love it.
I have to tell you something. This is funny. I've had a lot of like body shame, and like most of us have. And I like when we're running on the like on the treadmill in class, I'm like checking out my arms. I'm like, look how strong I am. So that feels
That's
good.
amazing. That's huge. Oh, that's awesome, Kara. Good for you.
Thanks.
Those are big ones, guys. I love these. Come on. I know there's more in here. Come on. Don't be shy. Even if it's like a pound, or even if maybe it's not even scale victory. Maybe it's just like, hey, like what she said. Like, I just feel better.
My weight shifted a couple of pounds. And then I think it like kind of went back up. I think that's all. I don't have much more to say than that.
It shifted, but it was great.
Which is a good thing, right? No, it's a good thing.
Yeah. You guys.
I was gonna say something similar. Mine went down, and then I think over this last few days went back up. So that's why I don't know that I've tracked much in the last few days, but yeah, I think just to know that if I'm doing the right things, that it can go in the right direction is really positive. And also, I think eating, like I'm a person who kind of gets bored with like food, but it's easier to track if you're eating like the same things.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, same breakfast as yesterday. Yep, got that, So like there's some positives of being boring and eating similar things.
You are correct. There are
And it's easier to plan.
Ding, for sure.
I mean, I think the scale kind of went up and down also, but I think it's also like if you don't see a big scale jump, for me anyway, I'll say, like if I don't see, I don't know, I don't even know what number it is, but if I don't see a big number, then I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything. It doesn't count. It's because it's the mind effery, right? That we've all been, or probably a lot of us have been ingrained in ourselves or social media or life has. So yeah.
Dang. You guys are nailing this. Does anybody in this group care if I pull up their scale? I want to show you what actually happens. Like,
I don't mind, Casey. It's Tara.
I kind of figured. Tara, you were actually, I was starting to pull yours up anyway. Great. So, real quick thing with scale victories. Obviously, it is, there's, like you said, it is a mind F for sure with the scale. This is where, so basically, the scale progress will always fluctuate. There's no such thing as an exact linear drop. Tara actually had a great linear drop at the beginning here, and then it kind of teetered back up a little bit. But obviously, we can dive a little bit deeper. I'll look into it to see kind of why it went back up. There's always, multiple reasons why the scale shifts. Remember, your body weight, it actually goes off of averages, just like food. So if you actually like calculate it, we'll start here, Tara. If you did this, like, for example, this number to this number, all these numbers and divide it by the number, that is the average of like your weight. That is actually more what your weight actually is in that time frame. If you see that average, I bet you if I average these out, on the, it would probably average to be less than what this high spike was. We'll kind of ignore whatever happened back here in April or whatever happened there, but we'll start at the top there. So really, if you look at the scale, everybody's scale, there's always a roller coaster method. It's 100% This is 100% normal. If your scale goes completely down with no ebbs and flows, you're not human. So whoever has those, sometimes people only log them if they only go down, which is fine too. I get it because it's fun to see to watch it go down. But this is the thing I think that's really important as you guys are going through your scale. And I know Missy, you threw out there like goes up and down, and Marcy, you even said it goes up and down. That is normal, like 100% normal. Between, let me pull this other thing up. Let me pull this. You guys saw my post about the scale fluctuations, why they shift. And this is why a little bit more frequent weigh-ins are good so that you can see averages versus just doing like a week or even like some people do like a month or something like that. It's hard to see. Where'd it go? Here it is. So I can also send this all to you and have you guys take this home, or take it home. Put it in your backpacks. So can you guys see this? Do I need to zoom in a little bit more? Make it bigger? Boom. These are just kind of like oh, now I zoomed in way too big. Come back. Here we go. These are some of the most popular reasons why the scale will go up. So big one is, did you eat out the day before? If you ate out the day before, I would check in to see if you did. And that is very common for the scale to go up, typically due to sodium levels. It's just very natural and normal for most foods when we eat out, just have higher sodium intake. So this is a big one. So if you see the scale pop back up, these are things, they're like easy checklists for you guys to look through. Honestly, if you had a bad night's sleep or you slept like crap or whatever, this also plays a role. Your body's in stress mode so that your hormones are slightly elevated, etc. So it's going to cause all of these, I should say, all have to do with water retention and not actual fat gained, right? So this is why, like I said, your scale will shift and fluctuate. And this is where the average of your weight actually plays a more important number than the actual day check-in. Hard workouts as well. If you had a really hard, that's not normal, like Missy, you did a whole bunch of like yard work, or anybody else that did a bunch of yard work that's not out of your normal schedule, the scale may have actually gone up. It's just extra work. Same thing I think down here is if you walked, moved, did something more than you normally have, even though it's movement, can, yes, cause the scale to go up because it is stress on the body, and the body is therefore the hormone, it's shifting of the hormone balance. So even as much as we love great hard workouts, hard day, days that we just feel good that we've got a lot, that we moved a lot that day, can also cause it, unfortunately. This is all just, like I said, water retention rate staying within the body. Drinking more than water than normal, right? Vice versa, dehydration. Those two things back to back can also cause it to shift up. Hormone shifts depending on where you're at in your cycles. Of course, just general increased stress. Was it a stressful day, week at work, crappy night, blah, blah, blah. Those things also play an important one. And the last one, I think is also really important, is ate dinner close to bedtime. So if you ate probably less than 2 hours before bed, so if it's like an hour, then you crashed, for sure the scale is going to go up. Like your body actually hasn't fully digested the food from the night before. So that's probably still what's going on. You guys will also notice if you eat close to bedtime, you probably don't sleep as well. That also, this, and then obviously going to not sleeping well, etc. Your body's actually digesting the food while you're sleeping. So this is why you don't sleep well when you eat late at night. This is why it has nothing to do with it, that you gain weight. It has to have everything to do with your body's literally digesting the food at the time. So these are things that are really important to just do quick checks on as you see the fluctuations. And I think the more and more that you hop on the scale, the more comfortable you get to see with the fluctuations, and you will see the scale go up and down. Back to, I can never see my screen. Tara's minus whatever happened over here. Tara will pretend that didn't happen. Hers is actually in a downward trend. So if you look, even though the spike here, as long as the spike starts to hopefully goes back down here again, Tara, this is actually a great trend. This is normal. This is exactly what the body will do as long as the scale starts to go down. So you just look for that downward trend, just like if you're reading any other thing else. So those are really important when you guys are going through any type of scale fluctuations, and that causes all the scale stuff. So any questions on that? Does that make sense? Give you a little bit more insight? Yes.
I like it. averages. Yeah, that was helpful.
Yes, if you do averages. I wish the app would do it for you so you don't have to manually enter it. But and if I'll talk about that as well. Oh, that's awesome, Gemma. Happy scale that normalizes it. What's up, kiddo? That's fine. Sorry. I've not heard that. Has anyone else heard of a happy scale? I love it. I love that. There's so many apps out there. That's awesome. That there's stuff that does that too. So awesome. Great, great, great. Um, so speaking of, as you guys are, one of the things I want you guys to make sure to do is if you have not scheduled your follow-up call, which tab? Not this tab. This tab. Okay. Each of you guys are going to be getting this in this call. So this is just an example. So ignore the numbers have absolutely nothing to do. So this is why I haven't adjusted your guys' calorie macros or anything yet. So in your call, we will talk about what the objective is for the end. But each of your individual calls, I'm also going to go into your metabolic grade. So all the information that you also gave me into your original like registration form, this also gives me an idea of what's going on with your metabolism, et cetera. And obviously the objective is to get it moving better. So you guys will get an idea of all this. So I'll talk about your caloric needs, protein, carbs, blah, blah, blah. We'll kind of dive into some of this stuff as well. And I'll talk about, what's going on as far as just general, not, non-scale stuff to see if these things are going well along with what you're currently at, and then just kind of a grade. So you will get an overall grade when you are done, so that we can kind of figure out obviously the objective to go next. I will kind of summarize everything. Like I said, this is just a general example that from somebody else previously, and this just talks about, I'll go deeper into this about what's going on, how to get your metabolism to work even more effectively as you guys are going through all your different progress or different forms of food intake that I have prescribed for all of you, and then kind of dive in a little bit deeper. So this is stuff that you guys will get to take with you in your backpacks, quotation, so that you guys have an idea of what to do post the challenge. So like I said, that's why this is really important, so that make sure you schedule those calls, because like I said, I want to make sure I'm giving you guys stuff that you can keep moving on post the challenge, not just like, all right, good job. You did it, etc. Yes, go for it. Well, good idea, Marcy. All right, I'm just kind of going through my list, make sure I'm covering everything here. So yeah, I mean, obviously at the big thing with the big thing that I'm happy you guys started to take away. I know the quick review with tracking is that it's not for everybody. And there's also some people that felt like they fell off of tracking throughout the challenge. And the biggest push I was trying to emphasize for individuals that have done, feel, or even days that you might feel like you fell off, is, as always, there's no such thing as perfection, right? It's just consistency over perfection. And then part two, there's other ways to actually track food if tracking starts to become really overwhelming. You could do something as simple as just jotting things down on a piece of paper, right? You could go old school and go that route, right? Well, obviously, we don't know necessarily numbers, but that can at least help people start to shift in the right direction. To taking pictures of your food. That's a very simple one too. You could just take pictures. That's another way of just to log your food. When we just start paying a little bit more attention versus plopping it on a plate, eating it, or whatever we're doing, it just starts to bring more awareness of what's going on, so that you have a direction. That's always my biggest push. So you have a direction of where to go. And so those are other like non-traditional forms of tracking that require no, app, no input, no scale, no nothing by any means. And those are other ways to kind of help you create different progress as well. I've also had people just focus on protein. Like we could just, I know protein's the biggest emphasis of this, of just tracking protein, right? If you're like, hey, I don't want to track anything else, this is just overwhelming, this is a lot, just go to protein. And these are the conversations I'll have with each of you in your calls too, to make sure that you guys still feel that you can create the consistency. So if the food tracking was really overwhelming in these 21 days, first of all, that's okay. Like, I'm not expecting you guys to be like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever done. This is amazing. We can shift, we can change different tactics. That's why there's tons of different tools out there, obviously tons of different apps. And if there's other apps that you prefer, go for it, right? Go off things. The objective is to make it as easy as possible for you so that you can keep going. So it's not a deterrence, right? If it's like that's always my big push. How can we make this as easy as possible for you so you can actually complete it? But yes, just, obviously the big thing before for everybody is obviously a variety of you were working on just putting more food back into the diet. That's always some of you were working on that. Some of you guys were working on trying to reduce some calories, and some of you were just working on honestly just cleaning up dishes and being more whole foods versus some of the participants were eating out a little bit more, had a little bit more processed foods into their plates. Those are three very different styles of shifting, and all three of them will start to show different forms of progress. And obviously, they're all hard in their own way because you're changing your habits. And if there's anything I can, I guess, promote for all of you guys, is be proud that you guys at least started this step. Because some people, this is really hard. Like when I had the conversation of what the challenge was, they're like, I'm not ready. Or I'm not gonna lie, I actually had a lady sign up and she's like, I wasn't ready for the challenge. It just seemed too much. And anytime somebody says that to me, there's two things. One, yes, it can be too much depending on what's going on, because obviously we do lots of other things. Your life is not just health and fitness, right? You do a lot of other things, but you can also do very small things. Like Kendra was just doing water, protein, and walking. That was Kendra's goal through this challenge, right? We can make very, very specific, realistic goals. So if you ever start to feel overwhelmed, you can pull back on things. When you don't feel as overwhelmed, then you add a little bit more. So always remember those things. I think those are really important aspects as you guys continue through all these. So there's always a way. There's always a way to pull back and be okay with it. And then when you have the mindset to come back, then you come back. And I think that's the most important part of the whole process. And that's how you create consistency with health versus on, off, on, off. But the tracking obviously just creates a, hey, why can't I lose weight? Why can't I start doing the things I need to do? Oh, this is why, right? And then the bonus is when you are working on, say you're reducing calories, is we do an actual calorie deficit that's attainable, right? Versus these random calorie deficits that a lot of coaches or programs will just do mass, like, hey, let's have you eat whatever, 1200 I know is pushed a lot, or whatever, 1300. Like nobody should be eating under 1500 calories. I will never, ever, 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 ever put anybody in that calorie prescription, right? It's just not healthy. It's not attainable. It's really hard to stick with in a calorie deficit. Vice versa, when you are working on adding more food in, we match a much smaller range. Same thing, 100 to 2 calories up, just like people that are in deficits, 100 to 200 calories less. And the vice versa, just working on eating cleaner. And that comes with picking new foods, picking new dishes, etc. They all serve themselves in different challenges, but the tracking gives you the direction where you go so it doesn't become unattainable. So I'm glad you guys all kind of piece that together, but just kind of the big reinforcement at the end for everybody. So let's just throw this in the chat. Is there what of the things, I know there were lots of, there's obviously the mini daily challenges, obviously just the big general tracking. I know some people did workouts, some people were doing other workouts, some people weren't working out at all, which is all three were fine, right? I want you to throw in the chat which one actually feels the most confusing or hard to stay with for you. Christian, dang. Ooh, first to be taken off the schedule for my busy. Drinking enough water. Ooh, weekend nutrition. Love these. Yeah. Yes. Those summer nutrition. I actually heard a coach, Tara, just because of yours about the summer stuff, which is kind of true, is like summer can be like one of the hardest times to actually like clean things up because of the gatherings. There's so many like barbecues and outdoor things and blah 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 that sometimes summer is like not an ideal time to actually do like a cut in a way. If you were to do more of a deficit, it can be challenging due to those reasons, which I don't think they're wrong in that. But I think, as always, I think it depends on the individual, right? Working out. We got a lot of working out, working out, working out, working out. Food when there's so many. So Sarah, same thing. The thing I was just talking about with Tara. Okay. I can draw all those answers. It's tough. Like there's always going to be something, right? I think, like at the end of the day, it will never just be one thing, right? That's never going to like you're never going to be perfect. And I think when we put programs in these boxes of like checklists, they're easier to follow, which I completely understand why there's all these programs. I can't even name one off the top of my head, but whatever. A box that says, all right, whatever. Susie, you're going to do this many calories. Here's your workout. Here's like, this is what you eat at each meal. Plus you need a drink. Oh, like 75 day hard. That one came to my head. There's definitely check boxes, right? You check all the boxes. Check, 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 check. What are you completing those things, right? And there's lots of other options out there. Then the pros and cons with them, right? You probably pick up some habits that you liked out of it, etc., things like that. And then at the end of the day, it's hard to keep up because it doesn't fit. You're putting so many changes in at once that it doesn't fit into your lifestyle. And then, so when we complete the 70-day hard or whatever, I know there's even like a whatever, there's multiples of those, but you feel accomplished, and then when you're done, you're like, okay, I'm done, and then you just go back to what you were doing before. Maybe you might pick up a habit or here or there, and that's the all or nothing mindset that I think comes with health and nutrition. That has to, I wish we could get rid of that mindset, because there's no such thing as all or nothing when it comes to health and wellness. It's literally, how can I start making workout? Maybe it's like right now I just want to focus on working out. Maybe you have the ability to work out, track, do a deficit, and get your steps in and drink water, but you might really struggle with, I don't know, stress management struggles, to like sleep's not very good, to, I don't know, maybe you go off on the weekends. I'm just throwing out random stuff, right? Like, those are lists. And I think the thing that we have to remember is it's constantly changing. Like, you're going to have days that are going to be fantastic, and then you're going to have weeks that are going to be fantastic, and then you have days that are crappy, and you have weeks that are crappy. But the thing is, as long as you're doing the things that feel the easiest, whatever habit you feel like you've started to attain, whether maybe it's something as simple, I will push to promote this of the day. Like, if it's just water intake that you can drink, you are doing something well for your body if you can consume enough water for that day. If that is like literally the only thing that your mind can handle that day due to whatever is going on in your life, drink the water. Don't do the workouts, don't do the tracking, don't eat the protein, like just do water that day if that's the only thing you can give. And then the next day, okay, do I feel a little less stressed? Do I feel a little bit better? Can I add a little bit more to my list? Like, this list has to constantly change. Constant, day to day, week to week, right? And I think that's the most important part of health, is having that ability to ebb and flow with it and be okay with it. That we don't have to do the 75 hard checkbox every single day to say that we've been perfect or we've done it. So remember that as you guys go through things, is it will constantly shift and change. You're going to have things that pull your attention big time for obvious reasons. And then the next, I always tell people, if there's a big life event, obviously if there's medical things or a death or even good things, like, so you're moving, maybe you got a new job, like, whatever, maybe there's a baby, right? Lots of different things that can happen. Your mind's going to shift for a bit. Give yourself a time frame. Let's just say having a baby is a little bit different. Little things that go on. But give yourself, am I going to take a week to focus on this new thing? Am I going to take 2 weeks? Give yourself boxes so that you at least come back on, because the hardest part is coming back, right? And maybe those 2 weeks, it's just water and walking. You don't do your workouts. You eat as healthy as you can. You might eat a lot more takeout. So whatever's going on, there's no time to cook, don't want to cook. That's okay. After those 2 weeks, then I will start to add a little bit more in, and you constantly shift. That's how you do it. So throw out the all or nothing. There is no such thing as all or nothing. It's incorporating what you can at that time. The end. I'll go off my soapbox for that. So, all right. Any particular questions for you guys, or that you guys have for me about anything before I kind of wrap things up? And don't worry, I've not forgotten about, I was going to give away as well. We'll talk about that as well. And then, yeah, their final call. Anyone else have any questions?
Casey, will we still have access to or we're doing this challenge?
You kind of cut out there, Nicole. Can you say that again?
Sorry, yeah, I'm traveling. Will we still have access to like to track our food, or is that done once the challenge ends and we need to find something different?
So basically, once you guys are done with your calls, so as you get done with your call, then you will lose access to all of that. So, but that's why I'm giving you that form so that you guys, if you change, since you'll be off the app or whatever, you'll have the ability to keep going with your goals. So you can set the goals in whatever new app or whatever. And that's the one thing I wanted to keep you guys in. I think, Nicole, you might have been tracking in the app. I know all of you guys started tracking different apps. We'll kind of talk about that. If you were tracking a different app, you guys have already got it set. If you guys were tracking in the app itself, we'll kind of have to talk about obviously what you'll need to do post that. So,
okay,
great question. No, yeah. So you'll have it till basically whatever your call is. Have all you guys in here scheduled your call already? I feel like Marcy is not. Let me throw that here. Yes, we got a yes. I'm gonna throw it here in the chat here. All right, I'm throwing this in the chat, the Zoom chat here. Yeah, I think everybody else has done it. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, all right. It's in there. So, all right, since you guys all have done it. So, what I'm going to be giving away, guys, I'm going to put you guys in here. I am giving away free my coaching for 3 months for free for one of you guys. So, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put you on a spinner wheel. All of you that are in here. Let me put all of your names that are in here. Take a picture. Yeah. So then you guys know I'm not cheating. No, kidding. So basically the one-on-one coaching with me will be continued. We will be working more closely, obviously, on your goals. We'll be, chatting every week with me. I will make sure that you will keep that you're staying on track and et cetera, and do a lot more. There's a little bit more individual stuff that's in here. So let me make sure I got everybody. So we got, make sure I have everybody that's in this room. Like I said, if you guys are on here, you guys get a chance to win. So we got Marcy. Yes. Missy. Yes. Deb. Yes. Liz. Yes. Kara. Yes. Sarah. Yes. Kendra. Yes. Tara. Yes. Gemma. Yes. And Nicole. All right, guys. Let me share my screen. All right, ready? I wish I had music. No, we'll do all right. Spinner wheel. Like this person, you guys will win. Uh, Sarah. I was like right on the line. All right, congratulations, Sarah. You have, of course, won that. So congrats. So thank you all guys for joining me. Thank you for joining the 21-day challenge, obviously. Yes, I will be obviously in touch with all of you with our calls. I will walk through, like I said, I just want to make sure you guys feel accomplished with all of this. So, and Sarah, we will be in touch about next steps as well. So anything else for the order? Perfect. All righty, guys. Have an awesome Sunday, and I will be talking with all of you soon, all right?
Thanks, Casey.
You're welcome. Night, guys.
Bye.